Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want people to know. So, that's so much, I guess, what shame coming through about having it.
Yeah.
And we've all gone through it. I mean, I went through that. I think I went through the didn't understand it and the fear and then the shame and maybe the embarrassment, and maybe not wanting people that I knew to know, or at work, or the fear of if somebody found out at work, I might lose my job. Although I was pretty open, I think, about telling work just in case something happened. But people
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it. I know numerous people from over the years that have been affected by seizures, convulsions, or epilepsy, and they will not talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to acknowledge it. I have it. I take the medications, and I don't want to talk about it. I have it. I take meds. That's it. End of story. Don't want to talk about it. Don't want to acknowledge it. Don't want to give it any energy. And I don't want people to know. It seems so common.
It's very common because the energy work that you do, life coaching that I do, helping people in recovery, group therapy, when we have our group discussions, they talk about it and they get it off their chest. So I don't want to talk about it. This
Yeah.
mind up here is
Yeah.
more of an ego. It's not a bad thing, but ego is like, okay, I'm working, I'm making money, I have a life, I have a car, I have a wife, I have this, I have everything that we earn. And in order to earn, we have to get to a status, and we have a status in our mind. That's going to mess up our mental, emotional ego status. Oh my gosh, everything I earned is now going to get burned, so to speak, and it's
Yeah.
going
And
to,
one
going to lose it. I don't want anybody to know. And I was like that, but I didn't really care. I lost jobs. I was going through a hard time. I'm like, whatever. But alcohol had to play in that because
Yeah.
with alcohol, I was like, whatever. But when you're still functioning and then you have a seizure, you're like, don't tell anybody. God, I don't want to lose my job. It would be horrible, and people shouldn't get fired for seizures. It's just ridiculous, but it does happen, right?
Well, and one thing I noticed, I wrote a blog about it and I'd forgotten about it till just now, was that I never, when I was working, you have your potential, your full potential, and you can push and be better and better and better and better at what you do. And I think I held myself back in my careers, in everything in life. I held back where I didn't reach my full potential. And I think it was subconsciously that, hey, I have epilepsy, what if, or maybe I'm not good enough, or, maybe I'm not smart enough, or, maybe that'll put too much stress or pressure. So you go, 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 knowing you can be very successful, but you somehow hold yourself back. And is that a subconscious thought, feeling around the having epilepsy, shame on me, I'm not good enough, why did I get this, what did I do wrong, whatever kind of what do they call it, head trash is going on in your mind around yourself and your abilities. So I know I held myself back in the past.
Yeah. See, I know I held myself back. So the area of growing with heart and living with heart that we have is understanding when we have a seizure, when we have an accident, say a car accident, something changes, we have to accept it rather than fight it. Why did this happen to me? Instead of that, say, how can I learn? How can I grow?
Right.
What can I do in order to improve? And people have heard me say this, and even I spilled a bag of groceries the other day, and it's so programmed in me now in a good way. And right in the store, it ripped, the handle fell off, and I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was just kind of doing what I'm writing about in this book called Thank You. And this lady goes, God, that's a really good way to look at life. She laughed and she was like entertained by helping me pick up a few groceries. But instead of going, oh, right in the middle of the store, I dropped my groceries, God. That's how we've been programmed to look at life. So now I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, about 10 times. And that's a little example. But how can we be thankful for seizures? That's what we want to help people with, is to start accepting life and say, this is what I'm going through. This is the dis-ease in my life, that my life's not at ease. And I love
Yeah.
your story too about how you said you had to accept it and work on it. It's not going to happen against me. It's happening for me. You've talked about your overcoming through acceptance. It's not what you said. It's not what I can't do, right? You cross out that apostrophe T. It's what I can do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All the things. Yeah, exactly. It's what I can do. And just, be a victor, not a victim. And look at the positive and the lessons, or, just try to be grateful and thankful and appreciate and look at what the lesson perhaps is, or what you need to know, or what you need to learn. And it's interesting on that note, it's funny, I love that we're doing this, because sometimes we talk about and teach what we need to learn personally. Well, and everybody out there that's listening and watching, we really want to interview people, and we really want to get the conversations going, and talk about this as much as possible. So please, if you want to be interviewed, reach out to us, share. We'll have the information about our groups on this video, and come join us in the private groups. Let's get the conversations going and have some open, honest conversations that are beneficial and helpful for us all.
It's something that we'd love to, hear more people that are dealing with epilepsy, family members that deal with it. If you want somebody to talk to, or if you'd love to tell your story about, positivity and growth, or just what you're dealing with, we'd love to chat with you. And if it's a good fit, have a podcast interview like this with you.
Yeah.
And get more out for people.